Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing good. I am doing just great. So I kind of picked up something that I said I wasn't going to be doing anymore. Well, I just couldn't resist it. So today's unboxing. Yeah, I know. I said I wasn't going to do it, but this video here is going to show basically, well, I received something that I wasn't supposed to. It made it through customs. How the hell did that happen? I don't order from like AliExpress, all right? I have friends who do, and most of it's electronic stuff, and some of it isn't too bad. It's just like anything else you would see on any other website as far as reviews go for a product that somebody is selling. It's a mixed, people have mixed reviews about it. Some good, some bad, some, disasters, worse than others, and some people are just happy to hell and tickled as shit that they got something for a much lower price that looks like something that they paid more money for. Now, with the guitars and all the stuff that's been going on in news, videos have been popping up on YouTube, how, customs ended up seizing a shitload of guitars, and, people are going to be pissed off because, well, they didn't get what they ordered, and they're out of the money that they paid for whatever they ordered. I don't order from AliExpress, and this didn't come from AliExpress either, and I noticed that coming off of AliExpress seems to be a issue as far as customs go when it hits, either California or wherever it's going to go to make it into the States. So this is off of eBay, and I've bought several of them off of eBay and have not had a problem whatsoever as far as not making it through customs being delivered to me. Now, this is not going to sit there and say, I'm not trying to say, well, if you want a Chinese guitar, go to eBay and buy, from them, guaranteed you're going to get it. No, I'm not saying that at all, because there is a chance that maybe you will not get what you ordered, and it'll be one of those that's been seized in customs. So let's get opening on this. I already feel a broken spot on the back. It doesn't look like it is been damaged at all, but there is a slight roundness crack over here in the styrofoam. But when you see a package like this, you guarantee you know what it's going to be. It's going to be a guitar, regardless if it's going to be a fake clone, whatever you want to call these things. Now I call them basically a clone of the real thing, even though in all aspects they are not. So gotta be real gentle as far as opening this goes, because you never know how close the body is to the styrofoam edges. So I just use just the tip of the razor blade and kind of run down where the seam may be. Alright, so that's pretty much open. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the Chinese guys do to hide this through customs, because I know what it's going to say on the headstock. I did not order this any different than what it showed on eBay's advertisement. And nothing too. When you go to eBay and you type in electric guitar and don't use any filters or anything as you're doing this, say for location, this, that, and the other, all these pop up first, with a few Cozarts and some other guitars as well that are very low price. But it seems like the Chinese guitars pop up a lot more. I don't know how they do it as far as getting their ads up on eBay and what they do. Either they're promoting it or something. And another thing is a lot of these sellers of Chinese guitars they have like a main office or whatnot in California. So when you order it, it says, shipped from the United States. Actually, it's not. It's not a warehouse. It's not a a factory or anything else. It's a middleman that is providing the information from California, and they come from China, because that's exactly what this is. So let's open her up, see what's going on. Alright, so first off, this is kind of new. I've never seen anything like this before, where it came with how to adjust the neck for the truss rod. This is pretty interesting and kind of cool in a way. And of course, you get your crap. I've thrown so many of these away. Whew, I can smell that lacquer. Wow, that is strong. Alright, so let's get this thing out of this molded case here and see what is going on with this. The bad thing about these styrofoam cases, and this is one thing I'm going to show you too, is that all around this edge here it's very thin, and as you can see, it is cracked. This area over here, and including the top, really is not that much protection. The edges seem to be pretty good, although this area here seems to be very thin. But it has some protection, but not a lot. And if you get one of those drivers in shipping that's like, you know, oh, I know what this is, and you know, it's going to get destroyed before it gets shipped to the owner. You know, they can damage this thing up as much as possible. And I'm going to show you something that you guys may have not seen, that fools the scanning machine that is supposed to either, you know, x-ray the box or whatever to show that, well, this is not what it's supposed to be. Don't ship it, burn it, piss off the owner. So right off the bat, I'm looking at this, and it looks pretty good. I'm not going to complain about it at all. Fretwork seems to be very, very nice. Action height at the first fret is low. Wow, I'm actually surprised to see what this, see how it is. Now the weight of this guitar feels like any other Les Paul would. Of course, if you know what I bought, it's a Les Paul. So we're going to look at the back of this first. And let me get the fuzzies off this. Alright, so this is the first time I've ever seen a sticker on it that says QC Passed. It's the first time I've ever seen that. Now, as far as marks, scratches, dings, or anything else goes, there is a few spots on here. There's one spot right here that looks like it was a repair. Other than that, it doesn't look too bad. Now, here's the top of this. And some rubbing compound over here. Neck seems to be lined up pretty good. Any push and pull here? Nope, just volume. Very tight controls. Probably going to be, you know, cheap alpha pots, but the controls are not rubbing against the body. The top looks fucking amazing. Let me try to blow off some of this dust here. Other than some smudge marks here and there, it's not bad. Now this is a Jimmy Page replica. Okay, so I don't know what these pickups are. It's probably going to be just a regular Chinese pickup. If I open up the back over here, it's probably going to show me that. You know, you're going to have your blue wire or your yellow wire, single lead, as far as, you know, having just a positive and a negative. Now, the kicker on this is how these guys get away with shipping this stuff, and I'm noticing it more now. If you haven't noticed it in this video yet, then you ain't looking. The sticker over the headstock, look at that. So it's LS Custom Shop. All right. And then it says Les Paul Standard underneath that. Now that sticker there is supposed to hide anything and everything that shows that this is a Gibson. Also, what they have done here is where it says Made in USA, they covered that with a sticker that says Made in China. All right. So now you kind of see how these guys get away with shipping these things while they're being scanned. Now this is not a Gibson, and I'm going to peel off the sticker right now. That's all it is. Just something they put over the headstock to hide that. Now I have to say that the build quality, although this is kind of a little bit on the dirty side as far as smudges and everything else goes, it's a mahogany body, a mahogany neck, and it actually looks pretty damn good. I mean, really, really good. You got your cheap hardware. You got your cheap, the plating on this is coming off. Actually, it is. Is it coming off, or is that rubbing compound? That's rubbing compound. All right. Little tunematic bridge. Nothing really fancy. Three-way switch, which feels like a box switch. So I'm just going to open that up right now. Make it easy. Let's see what we got underneath the hood. Now it looks like they buffed this with the covers on here, because I can see where its tape is pulled. There we go. Oh no, they actually used a regular switch here, but the wiring of it is pretty shitty. Yeah, I'll have to go inside there and kind of fix that a little bit. They melted. Okay, let me bring you in on this one so you can see a little bit closer. Put some light on. All right. So inside of here, I don't know if you can see the shiny parts of the wire. They've actually melted the insulation around the wire over here. Alright, so this has got the plastic on here. And why I say that they buffed this out with the plastic and the covers on is because I could see the buffing marks over here. Not a big deal. So let's put the cover back on and go underneath hood number 2. Gotta be careful with these because they will strip out real fucking easy. The strap locks look pretty good. They actually look like something that you would see maybe like on a sheller or something. It looks like it's missing the lock that goes over this that would be on the strap side. All right, let's see what's under hood number 2. So I'm not acting like I'm proud to own this guitar, okay? This was kind of to prove a point as far as where this is coming from, how it's being shipped, and if you're going to get it or not, depending on who the seller is and how they package it. I'm not promoting, I never have promoted Chinese Chibson guitars before, but yep, just like I thought. No insulation tape. Alright, so it's plug and play, kind of like you would see on a Epiphone. So I'm wondering if that's got an Epiphone plug. Somebody marked the wire over here for, somebody put a piece of tape on the wire for the bridge, to separate bridge. And so already I can see it's very shitty soldering, very shitty wiring. Great platform to upgrade, depending. Now, it depends how well the bones are. If the bone structure of this thing is good, then you know what? It could be worth, not saying worth money, but worth upgrading a few things here and there. All right, let's put this back in. The routes aren't bad. The routing job that you did in here is pretty nice, and it actually was clean inside of that cavity. It wasn't all dirty and filthy with rubbing compound like you normally would see. Or sawdust. Let's flip this thing back over. So fret ends are very nice. I really can't say much about that as far as what normally you would find. And I'm not seeing a lot of filler around the inlays over here, and the inlays actually feel good. They don't feel like they're sticking up on the sides. Let's see what this neck looks like going down. The neck is straight. I mean, like, absolutely fucking straight. Like, too straight. Yeah, there's, like, no relief in this at all. So, this is just a Jimmy Page clone. And that's part of the reason why I picked it up. And I am going to be doing something around here, and it's not going to be like a music room, but it's going to be basically a my theater room that I'm going to be redoing soon. I want to take and, like, say, you know, this guitar here. This guitar here is worth nothing. All right, this is not anything. It could be played as is. I mean, it's not going to be fantastic. There would be some work that I would have to do to it in order to make it better, but I'm not going to make it like fantastic, but it will be playable. And what I want to do is some of the guitars that I have now, I want to put these on the, hang them on the wall with LED lighting, and have it like a showroom, okay? Even though they're going to be fakes, replicas, you know, to be more of a wall hanger than anything else. So there'll be this guitar here. I'm thinking about getting some George Lynch's signature guitars, and these would never come off the wall. These would be on the wall to stay, and have a nice, you know, LED lighting, either backlit, spotlighted, or however, just for a decoration. Now, this is one of the few Chibsons that I have received that the binding is not indented. This is actually really, really nice as far as that quality goes. No problems with the neck pocket. No problems on this side either, other than there was some rubbing compound over here. Usually with Chibson guitars, okay, when you buy them, you don't see this in the photos unless you really zoom in on the photo and catch it in the right lighting. A lot of times the binding would feel like the wood is bumped out and the binding is set in. That is because they scraped the paint off of the binding, or whatever finish that was on the binding. They scraped it off, and they scraped too much off, meaning that they removed a lot of the binding as well. So when this hits clear coat, you'll feel a divot. There'll be a ledge when it hits the binding from the, you know, body to the binding. That's what that reason why you would see that. Now, I know this is a veneer. I could tell just by looking at it, especially over here, that this is a veneer top. But this is a very nice looking veneer. I mean, it's got the stripes the flaming in it. It also has the stripes going down it too, kind of like the thin line Les Paul that I had that actually was a Gibson. And yeah, sounds like it's in tune. That's one thing you never do, is ship in tune. Alright, so the nut has been cut pretty nice, even though this is plastic. And like I said, the fretwork is pretty good on here. They could have did a little bit better job as far as polishing frets go. Yeah, not really much more to say about this. This is actually not bad as far as the bones go. And just looking at it, as far as playability goes, oh, I'm sure that this is going to have its issues. Believe me, I'm sure. You know, there's probably going to be some uneven frets, which, looking down the neck, as straight as this neck is, and I can already see some of the frets that are not quite even with each other. Another thing is that's kind of nice on this thing too, is that they did a nice job with the fret, or actually the fretboard sides over here, as far as not being real sharp. Yeah, I mean, it's not great, but it's not crappy either. There is some rubbing. It looks like there's a rubbing compound on the strings, like caked to the strings. So what they do, polish this thing while it was strung up. Probably no-name strings on here, you know, whatever their Chinese brand is. Now, since the strings are on here, they're under tension and in tune. Let's see what happens if I turn the keys. Alright, that's good. That's good. That's alright. That's alright. Alright, so the actual tuning machines feel pretty smooth, number one. There doesn't feel like there's more tension on some than others, but the ears on here, the tabs that you'd use to turn, do feel a lot on the cheap side as far as real plasticky and stuff goes. But what I was looking for is that little ding that you would hear when you would, you know, change the tuning or adjust the tuning on your guitar, to see if maybe the slots on the nut were cut in a way where they were too small for the string was binding a little bit. Not the case with this either. Alright, so I think that is it. I really don't think I am going to go into more of this guitar here, since it is a Chibson and really isn't worth too much as far as giving it a lot of respect, because it is a Chibson. But I have to say, it is not too bad as far as overall visual looking at it. It looks very good. It looks, you know, I don't see any issues really as far as problems with the finish. Just one spot that I found over here that looks like it was a little bit of a repair job, kind of like a fill. And everything else seems to be okay with it as far as the finish goes. Again, no hump, bump, shelf, lip, anything else around where the binding goes. That is really surprising, because even some of the Chibsons that I have, that I still have, shrunk or been trimmed down a lot where the binding is, and you feel it. This is actually pretty nice. Jimmy Page, Les Paul clone, and this is supposed to be the T-Burst or whatever they call it. Doesn't look bad at all. It actually looks pretty good. And you know, I'm probably going to just kind of like clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to put too much into it, and on the wall it will go to hang, and that's where it'll live its life, along with a few other guitars that I have and some other ones that I'm going to end up getting. Like I said, I want to basically get some of the what do you would call them, the guitars that other people would use, and you know, maybe an Eddie Van Halen clone. Definitely going to end up getting a few of the George Lynch's, maybe a couple of Kurt Hammett's, who knows, and hang them on the wall as well, just as like hanging art, because that's basically what these are. I mean, you could make a Chibson do its thing, but you could never make a Gibson guitar. All right, you guys, take it easy. Have a good one. I will catch up with you all later.